Hello everybody, it's Martin from DrowsyMedia here, and to my right I have...
Liam from DrowsyMedia. How you doing, guys?
And today we are going to have a quick discussion, or maybe a long discussion, depending on how deep we delve into it, regarding PC and console.
This is not a versus. So yeah, this is not a versus. This is not we are favoured toward one thing, because I think Martin is more favoured toward consoles and I'm favoured towards PC, personally. So yeah. Just going to put that out there now. This is our opinions as well. So if you don't like it, rather than hit that dislike button, choke your opinion in the comment section below. I'd rather have that as a discussion rather than a hate section against, Xbox versus PS3 versus Wii versus PC. Just saying. So, let's kick it off with Martin. What do you prefer about consoles?
Well, I find the way you actually play them with the controller, I find that a lot easier now. I am aware that you can plug a controller into a PC. Don't get me wrong, I am aware of that. But I do find it a lot more, say, comforting to play a console with a controller, because I feel a lot more confident with the controls. I know it sounds weird.
No, that's completely fair enough. No, that's fair enough. I mean, personally, with my history of gaming, I started back at like the PS1, PS2, original Xbox, 360. I've played all them to consoles, and then I've probably only been into PC gaming for around a year, but already I do prefer PC controls. But that is, again, personal preference.
Yeah.
But I would say with the PC, the mouse and keyboard, you're a hell of a lot more accurate.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to PC controls, it is something that you've got to master and practice at, because, from going from a joystick to WASD to a mouse, it's a big step.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
you either start with one and just stick with it, or you start with one and then try and master the other, and it's quite a hard task to do.
Especially, I mean, I went from playing Battlefield 3 on the Xbox to then going to play it on a PC, and I could not hit a thing with a mouse at the start. But now, if I go from playing it on PC back to Xbox, I just find the controller really sluggish and hard to move. It's just, it doesn't feel right. I don't know why. It's just because I'm used to that, personally. So, what would you say has got the better control scheme out of the two? I know this wasn't a versus, but I just kind of want to know.
Well, it depends what kind of game you're playing. I mean, if you're playing a role-playing game, you've got the tab bar on a console, so it's not console, sorry,
on a PC.
On a PC, so it's a lot easier to sort of quickly select something than it is on a console,
because you've got to go into the menu and then you've got to go into like items or something.
Yeah.
Rather than, let's say you're playing Skyrim, you don't just have the buttons on the controller, the D-pad, the triggers, blah blah blah. You've got, I know you can hotkey stuff to the D-pad, but that still only gives what, eight
options,
things
as a max. But
compared to a PC, you can hotkey it to any keys. Especially if you do have a gaming keyboard with macro keys, you can also program to do other stuff. So you have a lot more flexibility with a keyboard. But for comfort and playing, I probably would go with a controller.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because controllers are ergonomically, big word, ergonomically built to be comfortable for long durations of time. That's why you can play Xbox, or I wouldn't necessarily PS3, because I cannot hold a PlayStation controller. It's too small for my opinion. But especially if it's an Xbox, and it's just so much comfort in playing with it.
Yeah, I would agree with you that I do think it is more comfortable to play with, because at a PC, most of the time you are restrained to a desk unless you do have a decent wireless keyboard or longer wires on your mouse and keyboard, in which you can sit back on a chair with like maybe a little table near you. But and being close to a screen with the console controller, well, especially the wireless controllers now.
Yeah,
you can sit back, on the back of your living room and play if you've got a nice big screen compared to sitting in front of a screen. So it is definitely more comfortable to play with a controller. But I'd say the PC has a few more advantages. I mean, comfort's a huge one, but the flexibility of a PC, and especially if you're used to it, you're a hell of a lot more accurate as well.
Yeah.
But, that's personal preferences. Another thing with PC, just to point this out with mice, there are mice you can buy, obviously gaming mice, that you can configure to the hell. You get mice with buttons on. I mean, rather than, let's say you're playing, let's just use World of Warcraft for an example. You could be playing, and rather than taking your hands off WASD to move, to in combat or something, to use like an ability, rather than going up to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the number keys, you can get mice with buttons on the side of them. so you can hit it with your thumb rather than doing it. So yeah, I'd say got a lot more flexibility on controllers. We've just spent like what 5 minutes talking about controllers. Controllers, mice, and keyboards.
This is going to be a long conversation.
Nah, it's cool. Nah. So, anything else you prefer to console gaming in general?
I find it easier to have devices to speak with, because when it comes to, say, a PC, right, I noticed that you forked out for quite a bit regarding, say, Turtle Beaches and actual microphones. I mean, I've never spoken to anyone over PC other than Skype with an inbuilt microphone.
Yeah, in your laptop, which is really bad.
It's not my fault, it's my mother's, okay?
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Right. So yeah, other than, like, say, if you have an inbuilt microphone, is that good enough to play online with someone and them still being able to hear you properly? Or do you actually have to fork out for an expensive microphone?
What, on PC?
Yeah, whereas with a console, it's usually, the microphone is usually sold with it, and it's usually...
In the case of the 360, I don't think it is with the PS3.
Isn't it?
No, I don't think it is.
Oh.
That might have changed now. Like, my PS3 knowledge is from a decent couple of years ago when it first came out. But to my knowledge, I don't think you buy a microphone. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't think you get a mic included in the box with the PS3. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you do with the 360. I mean, it's not a great mic with the 360, but it is easily usable.
Yeah. I mean, then if you go and fork out for a wireless one, you know, you got yourself about 5 hours worth of talking there before you have to charge it up.
That's the only problem with wireless mics. How much are wireless mics? Do you know?
It depends what one you get. I mean,
they're about 30 quid, aren't they?
Yeah, let's just say around 30 quid.
You can buy the Turtle Beach X12 for that, which is that headset there, Mark, which you've used. So that is actually compatible with both PC and console.
Yes,
but for Xbox, but you can buy ones that are compatible with PS3 and PC as well. So I wouldn't say headsets and microphones kind of win either way, because with a PC you can obviously, personally, we're using a condenser mic right now, which is from Push Audio, studio recording microphones, which cost about 60. Well, yeah, a decent one, 60 quid and up. So yeah, obviously with PC you can go and buy the professional audio equipment, where with Xbox there are still really decent headsets, like for example the Astros. They'll cost you 250 quid for the high end range, I think.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think microphones and audio between the two really make much of a difference.
No,
because most things are now compatible with both. Thank God.
Now, the one thing you always use against me when it comes to the sort of console versus PC is the graphics. That's the one you always use against me.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it doesn't matter about graphics. But it does. It doesn't matter, but it does matter, because graphics don't make a good game, do they?
No.
They help towards it, but they don't make a game excellent. But like you've played the Battlefield 4 beta on
Xbox 360.
Xbox 360, and I've played it on PC. So what do you think of the actual graphics? Because there'll be a good comparison, because that's kind of a next-gen game.
Well, when it comes to the graphics on the Battlefield 4 beta, obviously because it's just a beta, they're not rendered very well. I mean, the amount of times I've gone to aim down the sight and it's just a black block.
Because
it has the site hasn't actually rendered.
So it hasn't rendered well.
No, it hasn't rendered.
I haven't played this. I don't know about these bugs.
No, it's so weird.
Yeah, as on PC, everything has been pretty good. I mean, that's the thing about PC. It will always be more advanced than a console. Always. There's going to be no stopping a console, because a console is a set piece. For example, what's the 360? It's had like an 8-year lifespan. Am I correct?
When did it come out? 06, yeah.
Yeah.
7, 8, yeah.
So the 360's hardware is from back then, 2006, 2000, around that.
Yeah, but don't forget they are bringing out later versions of that console.
Yeah, but the hardware itself is not improved. It's fine-tuned, but it's not improved. Whereas PC, it's always better improved. It's always getting that jump ahead of console. I mean, yeah, that's the problem with PC is, if you're going to want to play the next gen games in kind of the high resolutions and best resolutions, you're going to need to be spending a decent amount of money every probably 3 to 4 years. and you can spend money that can, for a graphics card, for one of the higher end graphics cards, you're probably going to look around £300 to £400, unless you want to go for Titans, and they're upwards of £500.
Sod that.
Which is
not made of money.
Which is a price of a console. So
yeah,
when you look at it like that, it's like one component in your PC could be the price of a console. I'd say that's the main appeal of a console, because you've got that, let's say £400 console, which kind of the next gen are, ish. Okay, ish. I know they're not exactly that, but ish. You've got that, and that's going to last for 8 years. You buy a game, you're going to know it's going to work on that console. PC, you could buy a game and you could be like, oh no, you actually need a higher end graphics card, or you need more RAM or something.
Yeah, I suppose. But what was I going to say? Yeah,
I don't know.
When it comes to yeah, you don't know. Get out of my mind. No, when it comes to like next gen consoles, if we look back at say other well-anticipated consoles, say I'm going back some years here now, the Virtual Boy from Nintendo.
The what?
The Virtual Boy from Nintendo.
I've got no idea what that is.
Right, it was a virtual reality console, right, which you would wear on your face, right, and it would portray a 3D image, right?
I think I know what you're about now.
And then put you in what would be virtual reality,
like the old school Oculus Rift.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
It was a highly anticipated console, like the PS4 and Xbox One.
I don't think they're as anticipated as the previous generation, for example, the 360 and PS3 were. But it's just my opinion.
And then it turned out that the Virtual Boy was a massive flop. So who's not to say that the PS4 or the Xbox One could be a massive flop in itself? I know I'm speaking about two massive companies going up against each other.
Literally the best companies in.
But who's to say that one of them won't flop?
No, that's a completely fair enough point, but I just don't think they will. Personally, I think the Xbox One already has flopped, but I don't think we should get into this argument, because I personally do not like the Xbox One whatsoever, and I totally prefer the PS4 for the next gen. But what do you think?
Well, I've never really been a PlayStation fan. Yeah, people are gonna hate me for that.
Never been. So you what? PS2.
I
biggest selling console of all time.
I have purchased a PS2 myself, but it was this was only about a year ago, because I wanted to try out some old and some old games.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, and obviously because it's quite obviously because it's quite hard to find working parts for it. I never really got into it because obviously I got it so late. But I've always backed Xbox. I don't know why. I just always have. I mean, ever since the original Xbox came out, I've just completely seshed that and sort of stuck on the Xbox side of it.
Yeah. I obviously went PS1, PS2, so I was a fan of Sony, obviously. But as soon as the Xbox came out, I got bought that, because obviously what were we? We were probably about 6.
Yeah, and I was really playing GTA.
We were really young, and playing like GTA on the PS2, because why not?
Yeah. Vice City, legendary
Such
game.
a great game. We'll get into this in a different time. So yeah, obviously the Xbox came out, the original Xbox, or the Xbox One, which we can't call it now, unfortunately. That came out, got bought that, really liked it. Do you remember the controllers for that? They were huge.
Yes, that was a massive. Yeah.
So yeah, they were huge.
Try playing them when you were 6.
And
Christ.
I mainly only think Microsoft got the upper hand on like the, because somebody would, but the next gen before this next gen. Yeah. No, Microsoft only got the upper hand on this generation of consoles because the 360 came out a year before the PS3.
Yeah.
So everyone would be like, oh, the Xbox is alright, the PS2 is alright, but let's try this kind of new advanced console out. And then they bought that. And then when Sony brought the PS3 out a year later, people were playing the 360 and obviously enjoyed it and liked it enough to keep it and not buy a PS3.
Yeah, but we're talking about like Xbox 360 and PS3, but we're totally missing out the other major gaming company, Nintendo. They bought out their Wii, the same year as the Xbox, or was it a year after, a year before? I can't remember.
I think it was a good couple of years after.
I mean, they set the benchmark for motion control, didn't they, with the Wii remote? And then Xbox and PS3 also wanted some of that with
PS3
with the Kinect.
I can't remember what came in first, the Kinect or the PlayStation. Is it the PlayStation Move?
I think PS3 tried to have a go at the motion controls from Wii, and then Xbox just came in and
just like, hey, we've got like the iToy, which came in for the PS2. You're forgetting the iToy. Obviously, that was before the Wii. So yeah, I think Xbox came in and be like, yeah, we've got Kinect, and it like tracks your whole body and is awesome. Because do you remember the iToy? Did you ever have it?
I never had
No,
that.
you had to.
I
Stand...
only just got a PS2 about a year ago.
Yeah,
Right, leave me out of this.
Yeah, you had to stand in like a box and it like to actually for it to register you. But no, the iToy actually, for thinking about it now, for like the time it came out was quite advanced. And then, personally, I would say Microsoft didn't achieve what they said they were going to achieve with the Kinect. I think the Kinect 2.0 for the Xbox One is the Kinect that the original Kinect was meant to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I've never used a Kinect, so...
No, I mean, I had one for about a year and then sold it. Because they were given, like, when it first got announced, they were just like, oh yeah, you can go and do all these voice commands. They just didn't work. Really. No. They just didn't work. So I'm going to be kind of excited to see how Kinect 2.0 comes out, personally.
Isn't it... I've never really researched any of the next-gen consoles. Isn't it integrated into the actual console?
No, it is not.
Man, I am Technology scares me,
Technology scares Martin.
I'm an old man at heart. Leave me alone.
No, it's fair enough, because even I was confused about that when they first said, oh yeah, it's integrated into the next console. So it's like, what? You've got to put your console at a certain place where they use Kinect? Because most people, if it's integrated into the console, I don't think there's a camera in the console, which means I can't go and then put it under your TV or somewhere, where it would be in like a living room situation, wouldn't it?
Chatting, Liam, if it's integrated, you've got to plonk it on top of your TV.
Put that massive box. It's like a bloody old school video recorder, VCR.
Fucking gaffer tapes.
Yeah, just tape it to your thin Samsung TV or whatever, as you do. No, most people got confused about that, but no, it's not. It's actually a separate thing like the Kinect is now. But I don't know if you've seen it, but it is huge. It's absolutely massive.
I have seen.
Just like the Xbox One. I don't know why it's so big. But, you know, yeah. I can't remember what we were starting talking about. I think we were talking about motion control because you brought up Nintendo, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. But then if you think about it, when, like, we're going back so many, many years now.
Oh, God, it's a time warp.
The Power Glove.
The what?
The Power Glove.
The what?
That was...
My gaming history goes from the PS1 to now.
The Power Glove was what Nintendo... I don't actually bloody know.
Oh, wow. This could all be lies.
No, it was a glove that you wear.
Oh, right.
Right? And on the front of it, there would be a keypad, and you type in the code for the game you're playing.
I need to Google this.
And you would be able to flick your fingers or make fists or do something on the screen with these sensors on your screen. And it would allow you to play any game if you input the right code to it.
Oh, God. That is insane.
Yeah. There you go. So you punch in the codes there. Liam's got a picture of it up. You'd punch in the codes there, right?
Yeah.
And these would all be, like, these would basically be the buttons on the controller. And you do certain movements with your hands, right? And it would come out of here and onto the sensors around the side of the television, right? And that would allow you to play. So you'd maybe like flick your finger to jump or make a fist to attack.
I'll put a photo of this on screen, guys, so you know what was.
It wasn't, and it just wasn't very good. But what would you expect? It came out in the 80s. You know, I mean, obviously, if your game failed that much, you'd use the keypad on the actual glove. But
I mean, it does actually kind of look like a Wii remote on the bottom bit where the I can't remember the name. What's that?
The D-pad.
Yeah, the D-pad.
Come on, man. You play way too much PC.
Yeah, like the bit where the D-pad is, and like going down to the A and B bits, kind of looks like a Wii remote if you top the bit where all the numbers are.
Yeah.
It's like a start of the Wii remote.
Yeah. No.
So either Nintendo are awesome at planning, or just a coincidence.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. You can cut all this out, right? just from like there.
No.
Just cut it out.
no, I'm keeping this. This could be good. All right, it's a random question. This is totally gone off topic of PC versus console.
You said it wasn't a versus.
It turned into a versus and then turned out of a versus. We're just discussing gaming at the moment in general. So, all right, here's a question. What do you reckon was the most innovative? Yeah, innovative. There, console. Come on, Mark.
The Atari 2600.
Why?
Because
Don't say it was the first console.
No,
it wasn't.
No, I know it wasn't. It started the revolution of home gaming. that's where everybody has started from. They've seen what the Atari could do and all the sales on it, right? And they said, right, we're going to have some of that. And then it's just evolved, right? It's gone from Atari, then there was, obviously they're not from the same company, I know. There was Atari, then there was Nintendo, and you've got Sony
Sega.
there, and Sega, and Microsoft, and all those, and that's where home gaming started. So it was the Atari, in my opinion. I mean, yes, there are all those Pong consoles that were sold, but the but the Atari was the starting mark for home gaming. So that is the most innovative console, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd say it's a 360
That is a shout.
because of the online.
Yeah.
The online started on. I'd say the 360 started the kind of revolution of online gaming.
Yeah.
The first online game I played on the 360 was COD 4 back in the day. That was an awesome game, and playing it with people just like totally blew my mind because I'd had a 360 for a year before then, before I like bought Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Just to play with a few people, and that's where it started. I think for multiplayer gaming, the 360 did it. The PS3 didn't really because the online wasn't great on there compared to the Xbox. But yeah, I'd say the Xbox, especially, I don't know, I think it made living room gaming a hell of a lot more. I can't think of the word. Conventional.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have that wire connecting you to the console. I mean, you can obviously buy wired controllers, but you didn't have that wire being like, okay, you can play 6 feet from the console.
Yes, like, here, I'll have the good remote. You can have the shitty plastic one that I got from...
Yeah.
That's broken. The joystick doesn't quite work. Which puts you at an immediate disadvantage. Whereas if you're online, you know...
Yeah.
everybody's...
So I'd say the 360 has started the online... like revolution. I think it's made living room gaming more commercial and blah blah blah. Because obviously you could go to the other side of the room and play.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore.
No. You reckon we should...
It's gone a hell of a lot off topic.
Yeah, I know. Massively off topic.
Right, next gen. Let's talk about next gen. We've already talked slightly
Whoa,
about
hold
next
on.
gen.
We've hit 23 minutes.
Don't
you think we should leave it there and then sort of do another one?
Let's get it. Let's just I'll edit this somehow, maybe. Thanks for listening to us, guys, because this is probably one of the videos you want to have like up on another screen or something.
Yeah,
if you
while
have
you're
two
checking
screens.
your Facebook status.
Yeah, your social media.
Or Twitter.
Or you can have this video up on screen while you're going to follow us on Twitter. They are in the description. Oh, did you like that segue?
Oh my god.
That was a good segue. Yeah, so yeah, go follow us
Product
on Twitter.
placement over here.
Twitter, follow us. Yeah, they're in the description, also on the about section of our channel. And
You don't have to if you don't want to.
yes, you do.
No, you
do. No, but anyway, follow us on Twitter. You get videos early. There you go. There's an incentive for you. Right. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.